Hi friends, this is Juliet again, ready to bring you another exciting topic on relationships and marriage amongst youth. I was trying to write a book entitled The End of the Empress, but I decided not to because the more I tried to give the reasons why I had this title, the more it got complicated. That did not mean I forgot the concerns I had then, and therefore I have decided to come up with the title, A Strongman Attitude Hurting Men in Relationships in the Current World. As long as humanity has existed, the society has looked favorably at a man who has controlling, chauvinistic tendencies around his woman and considered a weakling when he is tender to his wife. A man who belittles women and talks at women is sometimes admired by society. Unfortunately, this behavior is silently being questioned by affluent women who believe women must be treated in a more civil way. These women have been accused of being feminists, and they have been looked at as anti-men. Surprisingly, too many relationships are going down, and nobody is looking deeply as to why it's happening now more than ever before. A couple will spend lots of money on a wedding, but all that may go to waste after a few months when the couple decides they cannot be together anymore. I do not want to state here that men are the cause of these divorces and separations. I have given many more reasons a marriage may fail, and I shall add more others as we move along. I am bringing the aspect of attitude by man of the house. What our forefathers did and got away with may not work for the young men today. The world is more and more aware of a woman's place in the world. In yesteryears, a woman was there to be seen and not to be heard. For now, a young wife has come in well aware of her rights and privileges in her new home. She is not a pushover, and she expects respect by members of the hosting family. She may not see it necessary to push for recognition in her new home, if it's not forthcoming. She will stick to her lane, the lane she understands, because someone who knew her value brought her in. Therefore, a man who does not protect his wife from abuse does not stand a chance of keeping her. She will leave. Those times, young men would marry a woman to be subjected to abuse by her in-laws are gone. She is his wife, not a slave of the homestead. No one has any rights over her because she is your wife. I am not insinuating here that a wife has no role to play in the lives of her in-laws. She has, but not in that traditional ways of getting commanded from right, left, and center. If the in-law family respects their son and wants what is good for him, they should accord the same respect to his wife. Ruthless acts of harassment, alienating a brother's wife, is acceptable in many communities, but it ends up hurting the man most. If the man who brings his wife home leaves her at the mercy of his relatives in the name of long-standing traditions and practices, he will fail. He must state clearly that he has brought home his wife, and he must pronounce what is acceptable and what is not. More often than not, a man may stand with his relatives even when they are wrong, so as to keep them happy instead of addressing his wife's concerns, alienating her even more. This treatment leaves her feeling isolated and neglected. Another strongman attitude is those men who believe they must control their women to submission. They have been mentored into believing that a woman must submit to good and bad to her husband, including verbal and physical abuse. This strongman attitude does not recognize his wife as needs too. All he understands is what he wants to be done for his complete comfort, while he has no clue of her basic needs. He underestimates what expectations the girl had about marriage, and he breaks her heart without even knowing it. These are the types of men who may not notice when their wives are overwhelmed by their household duties. The multitasking could become too much for a working mother, and also when she is sick or breastfeeding. A pat on her shoulders by her man could go a long way, and even giving her a hand during difficult times. One day, I was talking to one of my sons, and he told me something I never gave much attention to. He said, if one does not have the reason why they do things the way they do, they will be non-committal. Why did the girl give her life to you and not to someone else? Why do you think you deserve more than her in this relationship? Why does a man think he is here only for his interests? Why does he think she will still decide to be with him when he is not sensitive to her needs? So, for any man who is getting married holding on to cultural and traditional ways of handling a woman will soon realize he will lose her for sure. Any man who does not understand why the girl he married should have her needs met has no business taking her to his home. Any man who has no idea of why the girl is still in this marriage could lose her. Therefore, let him be empathetic to her basic needs and review them from time to time, and not live in the world where he thinks for his wife. She is your world. Take care of her, and her eyes and soul won't be with you as long as you be both in this life. Thank you.